guys, we're back in the barn. I promise we don't live out here. It kind of feels like that sometimes. We do have a house, but most of our time is spent out here. So, plus the pigs aren't in there, and that's what you guys are interested in. So, again, we have Logan with us again tonight. Yep. So, we're going to kind of visit a little bit about ear notching. We're going to also talk about our, of course, open houses.
Right.
So, March 18th, right?
March 18th is the one that we're both involved in, along with the Coles up in Maysville. Which, if you guys tuned in last week, you kind of heard all the announcements about that. One little change, there is going to be a change of location, just due to some different conflicts. So when we figure out where that's going to be at, we will post on Facebook and wherever else this is all posted to. We'll make sure to let you guys know where the new location is.
Right.
But that's really the only announcement regarding that right now. Besides, pigs are starting to really look good, so we're getting more excited every day.
And then we're going to be hosting our own open house here at the farm on March 4th and again on March 25th. March 4th will be kind of geared toward those older, early January, a little bit of mid-January pigs. And then the second open house will be kind of geared towards those late January, early February pigs that we have, and let those guys grow a little bit more before we start offering those. And then we'll have refreshments. We're going to have something to eat. Still haven't decided what it is that we're going to eat, but please come, have fun. We're going to discuss a lot about pigs and get to know you guys. I will have a sales sheet that day that has pedigrees for all the pigs, their ear notches, date of birth, and everything on it. All the pigs will be pre-priced, so you'll have all that information. And as the pigs leave the barn, we'll mark them off the sale board that we'll have also as posted. So if you guys have any questions about either one of the sales or all of the sales, please don't hesitate to message us or call us or whatever. We'd be more than happy to kind of discuss what we have going on. So,
yep.
So ear notching, the thing that baffles everybody in the world. Why do we ear notch?
How to read them.
How to read them? Why do we ear notch? I mean, there's lots of questions about it, and it is kind of a confusing system. I mean, the cattle guys and the lamb guys have it pretty easy. They're gonna put a tag in their ear, and everybody can read the ear tag. Yeah. But reading ear notches is kind of it's a little bit of an art. It's not as confusing once you understand what the notches mean. So we have a poster board up here that we're gonna get to here in just a second, but. Chase did a demonstration on ear notching a couple years ago, and when we were doing that research, we actually kind of found an interesting little fact about why or how ear notching kind of got started. Back in the days when the Hatfields and McCoys were doing their battling and feuding back and forth, one of them, and I don't remember if it was the Hatfields went to the McCoys or vice versa, I'm not really for sure, but one of them stole a pig from the other one, but that pig had been ear notched, and so that's how they were. That pig was identified and know that it was stolen and could be returned. Which, of course, we all know the feud between the Hatfield and McCoys were much deeper than just one pig.
Right.
But anyways, that's kind of like, an interesting fact about maybe why we're doing this. So now we're going to kind of, you want to show them the tools we use and then we'll get the camera moved?
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. So when, everybody's a little different. We try and do ours, I call it processing. It's not like you're processing them like you're butchering, different kind of processing. Just for people that may not know, but so we try and do ours around 3 days old. We'll take the piglets, we'll give them iron shots, clip their teeth, dock their tails, and then we'll also ear notch them at the time. So this is an ear notcher. I don't know if you guys can see it very well or not. But use that, it's real quick, real easy. Not a lot of blood loss, nothing.
Earlier you do it, the less blood loss you're going to have.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why we also do ours at 3 days old too.
So there's that, and then this fancy little tool here for clipping teeth, docking tails, kind of an all-around tool there. So that's the tools that are used. And then hang on, because it's going to get shaky. We're going to move you guys to where you can see the poster
bear with us.
now.
Hopefully we don't give you guys motion sickness, but we're going to move this camera over here to the board. You guys would love our table. It's actually 4 bags of shavings, so.
We'll plug the brand if you'll send us free shavings.
That would be awesome. I would take a pallet. I'm sure you would too.
Yeah.
So this is our little pig guy here, and there's the 2 different ears actually mean 2 different things. And I'm not good with lefts and rights, so I'm gonna say, because I don't ever understand, like even at a car, I always call it the passenger rear door. I never call it the left rear. Yeah. That makes no sense to me. So this is the what ear? The left ear?
Yeah, if you're looking at the pig, I call it the left ear. But
that's what I refer to it as, but that always confuses me. So on the left ear is actually the litter. So however many litters you have born, do you do yours from December, or do you do January?
pretty much December to December, because that's most of our litters start in December
Right.
for what our season, I guess you could call it. So yeah, we do ours December to December, and I do it as in order they were born. I mean, if they were born the same day, it's whatever one I get to first. But other than that, it goes by age in our barn from first litter to last.
So, and then the right ear is the number, it's the pig, not necessarily the order it was born, because obviously we don't watch all of them be born. It's the order they were picked up out of the crate or picked up out of wherever, which number they're going to get. But that way you can just identify them apart from each other. Right? I'm going to tell the little story, I'm going to tell myself. So earlier we were out in the other pheromone shed, and we were kind of, looking at pigs, staring at pigs, that's what we do. And I asked Logan to kind of count this litter, and he's like, oh, there's 13 in there. And I was like, what, how many? Well, somehow or another, people were escaping into this other crate, and so we had to read their ear notches to figure out who didn't belong. So I was very happy that we'd had them ear notched so we could find out who was there.
There was Poland's in the Burke litter and Burke's in the Poland litter, and
yeah, it was a mess. We got them all fixed though. Nobody was barking at it. It was so strange. But
yeah,
they were all just having a fun big party, I guess.
Yeah,
that was a party crate.
So if you wonder why ear notches are important, there's one good reason for when you got escapees. But
another great one would be for record keeping purposes.
Exactly, record keeping. That's probably one of the main reasons. Just so producers, maybe the exhibitors and stuff, when you buy your pigs, you don't really pay that much attention to your ear notches, but it helps us know where each pig from each litter went, because every pig is going to have this same notch, whatever it may be. If it's one, it's just going to have that one notch there. Every pig in that litter would have that. Each pig should be different over here, and that allows us, we can say, okay, the 1-8 Barra, someone's being noisy. The 1-8 Barra went to so-and-so, they showed it at so-and-so.
Right.
It allows us to keep records and then all that good stuff, so.
Well, I'll let you kind of start off and explain what notches go where and why they are.
Okay, I don't know that I'm going to do as good of a job as Chase did on his presentation about it, but he wouldn't come in front of the camera for us, so.
He's still camera shy. I'll get him over it one of these days.
Here we are. So, it's probably, I'll explain it on the litter ear, because the same thing applies to this ear, only you just do it per pig. So the way I looked at it, the way I learned, when I first started, this diagram was very confusing to me, and I went and got the cheat sheet that had every notch on it, and that's what I learned with. But you can separate, if you look at it, it's separating the ear into pieces. So this is the one side of the ear, the 3, the 9. I don't think I'm ever going to have enough pigs where I'm going to use an 81 or a 20, maybe a 27, but if I had 27 sows at the house, Mom's really going to be mad. So if you're looking at this by pieces, it's pretty, if you can do addition, you should be able to read ear notches. So this is the 1 section. So if there's 1 notch, it's a 1. If there's 2 notches in the 1 section, 1 plus 1 is 2. So if this is all, if you don't look at these, if this is the only notches that are in here, that's a litter 2 pig. Then you would move up to 3. And if it's your 3rd litter and you want a 3 notch, you just do the 1, 3. So then, this is where your addition comes in. You got your 3 area of the ear and the 1 area. If you're going to go for like a litter 4, you do 1, 3 and 1, 1 in each of those areas. And that's your 3 plus 1, that's going to get your 4.
How many notches can you have in each section?
It's two notches is the maximum per section.
I can't say section either. I just stumbled on it too. But yeah, so, never more than two notches in each section. And the reason why is if I would put 3 down here, then it would be 3. But we already have a spot to put a 3.
Right.
And just like this, if you have 1, 2, and then 6, that's 8. There's no reason to have 8 or to put another one over here because we already have a spot for 9.
My mom said that's a big NO 27 sows.
Come on, where's the sense of adventure on this?
Yeah, there ain't none. So.
But yeah, so that's why there would never be more than 2 notches in each section. So you really just have to kind of think of the ear as in the 4 different sections. The ones that are most commonly used are the 1, 3, and the 9. I do have a pig that has a 27 notch in them, but I have never had a pig that had the 81 notch.
No, that's going to be for more of your bigger producers. Your not small show pig hobby farmers aren't going to. Right. I mean, maybe somebody does, but it ain't either one of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
So the notches, I mean, like I said, they seem intimidating just because our brains don't think like that a lot.
Right.
So just kind of think of pairs. and then adding the pairs together. So if you just remember 1, 3, 9, 27, but mainly 1, 3, 9, you're going to be able to read 95% of the notches out there, I would say. So, you guys have any questions about what we're talking about? Are we making it more confusing than what it was
We probably
before?
did, and there's probably people who can explain it a lot better than us.
Right.
But
I would love to be able to ear notch a pig live for you guys so you could kind of see that process, but unfortunately there's some friends out in the world that would not think that was a very humane thing to do, and that would be evil and not nice.
we going to get a pig and show them
We
some notches?
can.
You want me
We-
to get a little one?
We could probably get one of those crossbreds, and if we're gonna go grab a pig. Hopefully it doesn't squeal. Logan can hopefully muffle him.
On a crossbred?
Sure, or either one of the birds. It's fine too. Both of the moms are good. And this is the time I was like, gosh, I hope I notched these guys right. Thankfully, I've only messed up on one ear notch before, so. So this is the little bird litter. This is the one of the last litters we had. So this pig has a 9 notch right here, and it has a 1 notch down here. So that means it was a 10 litter pig. And on this side, he's got 2 notches up here, which makes him a 6 pig. So he would be identified as 10-6. So, and he's cooperating very well.
He likes the camera.
Right. So that's, like I said, it's a 9, and then a 1, and then 2 3s over here, which makes it 6. So he's a 10-6 pig. I think you just found yourself a star there.
Yeah, you like that? He does. Okay, say bye. We're going back.
I wonder if one of those crossbreds would cooperate as well, so that way they could see a different notch, because they were the last litter that was born. I would say the chances of another pig acting just like that one did are slim to none.
We got these big ones back here banging on the camera.
Yeah, if the camera's wobbling us just a little bit, it's because the pigs are chewing on our bags of shavings. Oh, a little squeal, but not bad.
We might have to be quick with him.
Okay, so this one here has one up here that's a 9, plus one up here that's a 3. So we have 12 plus one down here that
2.
makes it 13.
2.
Right? Or
There's
2 down.
14.
There's 2 down here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. So there's 2 down here that makes it into 14 pigs. So 9 plus 3 is 12, plus 2 makes 14. And then he has a 3 notch over here at the top, which makes him a 3 pig. You can kind of see that those notches aren't quite healed up all the way. Those guys are only really about a week old, so it's very common to have them still like that. So, gosh, we have some pigs that love the camera. So
This guy didn't do so bad either.
no, not at all. Very, very happy with those guys. Any questions yet, Cassie?
Nope,
No?
not yet. I think one way I remember the litter number is left and L.
Oh, that's a good one. I didn't even think about that. So if you're confused on which side is the litter and which side is the pig side, remember litter left. That's a very good way to remember that. I hadn't even thought about that. So,
If you go to like your car thing too, I mean, if not so much as its producers, but if you're in the show, if you're out in showmanship, I mean, there are chances that the judge could ask you what notch your pig is, just to see how much you know about the pork industry. So if you're driving that pig, and you think back to like how she said about the car, well, the driver's side of that pig is going to be what that individual pig is. The passenger side of the pig, from your point of view, then would be the litter number.
right.
So you still have to know how to read the notch, but at least you know which side is which, say which number first.
Right.
So,
Well, I guess if nobody has any questions, we can come back and kind of do a review on this too before we're done. But we're going to take the camera off the no, maybe we'll just take the tripod around and leave the camera on it. But there's no reason to take it off. So just pick it up if you want to. We'll just move it and we'll just carry it down on there.
has to twist. I'm not brave enough to do it.
So this litter here, we actually just kind of moved into the barn tonight. This is a mixture litter, or a mixture pen, I should say. There's some crossbreds in here that the crosses, the belted and this white hog here, are out of Outcry. No, excuse me, they're not out of Outcry. They're out of, oh gosh. Beth the Farm, thank you. I was like, of course I can't remember it. At Beth the Farm at SGI. And then that little bird pig there beating up on the white pig. And then there's another Barrow in here, and a little Guild as well. They're both out of the Bohisa Pig boar out there at Premium Blend, back on a Gunslinger pig. Their mom was the reserve grand champion at the Missouri State Fair, and her littermate brother was the champion boar, and her littermate Gilt was also the champion Gilt that year. So she came out of an outstanding litter. We're real excited about these guys. We don't have the pigs cut yet, but they're going to get cut this week. We're not saving any bears. All bears are available for purchase. We're not showing any bears this year, so don't worry about us thinking that we're going to have the best ones saved back for us. So we're going to move down a pin to the spots. Looks like some of these guys are napping, but most of these guys are out of All the Reason. There's one great big Gilt back there, and she's out of the right now. She was that single litter pig that we saw earlier. She's done, you can tell she's grown really, really well because she has all of the attention of her mom. But All the Reason pigs are back on a Wait No More boar from Dustin and Niehaus, Dustin Feldman from Niehaus and Feldman. But these guys are really starting to come along. They're right there mid-January. I think off the top of my head, they're like January 10th. So they're getting along pretty good here. And then this last little pin we have down here are some Burke Chesters. The Chesters out of Jumper Cables. There's a litter of 5 here. I believe there's 3 Gilts, 2 boars. I'm not a Chester person by nature, but these Chesters are pretty darn good. Especially there's 1 Gilt and 2 little bears, or 2 Gilts and a bear that's going to be really, really standouts in this litter. And then the Burks are out of the boar that we purchased at Summer Type. He's an Did It son. Came from Albright Farm, or came from the breeds bred by the Albrights, and their mom is a Hang On Gilt. I'm actually really, really excited about this litter. They're probably one of the most exciting litters at this stage anyways. We have some other ones coming up that are probably going to be pretty exciting too, but right now these guys, can't wait to watch them grow. So, we can turn around and look at the babies. Those crosses are out of just our Burke boar. Unfortunately, we didn't get her settled with semen like we had planned, but we got her bred to the Burke boar. She had a small litter, and it's really unusual for her. She usually has litters of 10 to 11, and so having this litter of 3 is really surprising. But they're looking good. I mean, I still have very great high hopes for them as well, even though they're out of a Burke boar. These guys are, again, out of the same Burke boar on a King Kong sow. She's had 8, I believe, that she has left here. These guys aren't very old. I think they're only about 2 weeks old, and they've got some real growth and size onto them already. So these guys, by the end of our second open house, are going to be some ones you're definitely going to want to take a look at. So don't be scared just because they're early February pigs. So.
Okay, hang on again. We're going back down the barn.
Or do.
Okay.
So we have the camera flipped around this week, so we can't really see who's there with us. So, so it's kind of odd because usually I can kind of see some people, but I've been really happy with the response that we've received in just the last week on our open houses. The calls are really starting to come in. I just can't wait to see everybody and start talking pigs all night long. So please don't ever hesitate to call. If I don't answer during the day, it's just because I work in a metal building and it's hard for me to get cell phone reception, but I will call you back immediately as soon as I get off work. So you can always send us a message. I usually answer messages pretty quick on Facebook, so as long as it's not 3 a.m. and sometimes even then. Depends on if you happen to catch me awake or not.
Yeah.
So, any questions or anything, Cassie? No? You guys are so quiet tonight. What's up with that? Usually we at least have some type of question.
Just my mom being a Debbie Downer.
She's going to limit you on how many hogs you can have.
Yeah. So, well, if nothing else, like she said, anytime call us with questions. We like to talk, obviously. That's why we told you we'd be back.
Right, and guess
we like
what?
it. We'll probably be back next week.
I was saying, I would just go ahead and write it in on your calendar next Wednesday night at 7. I'm going to guess we'll be here
If you
talking
guys
about
have
something.
suggestions for topics, things you want us to cover.
Absolutely.
Your mom says, yes, I am.
Yeah. So,
I'll visit with her when I come down. Maybe
Yeah.
we can change her. Probably not.
May the force be with you. But so if you have suggestions for stuff you want to see us talk about, like I said, we're probably going to do this now until sale day, at least once a week.
Right. And I kind of have plans on taking this all clear through the summer too. I mean, I know that you'll have to, so school gets done and stuff, but I know that people have asked us to do some showmanship type things too. So that is definitely in the plans. As soon as the pigs kind of get a little bit older and the weather straightens up outside, we'll start getting some hogs out in the yard, and we'll start doing some live feeds there too to show you how to get their heads up in the air and what you should be paying attention to as an exhibitor. How you should react to the judge, the distance you should be away from the judge, the type of showmanship questions you could possibly be asked. So those are some, one topic that I've been asked to do. So it's coming. Just wanted to let
that closer to sale day, we'll probably have something based off what you should be looking for when you come to pick out pigs.
Right.
No matter where you go, even if you don't come to one of us, things that you need to be looking for, because that's another question I get asked a lot.
Right.
So we'll probably do something of. Like
some type of selection process, and then some of the things that maybe you're not even aware of, like especially in these purebred pigs, there are standards that the purebred industry has set out for them. So maybe we'll go over at least over the breeds that we'll have represented there. I don't know that we can cover them all, but because I know that the Berks have a little bit different set of rules in the spots, and I know that the Durocs are on the NSR side, so they're going to have a little bit different set as well. So, and then also maybe go over birth dates and ownership dates for some different fairs. We'll cover the Missouri State Fair, some local county fairs. I think most of the county fairs generally go off of the Missouri State Fair guidelines.
There are exceptions that make their own rules, but
Matthew would like to know, how about complete feed versus ground and mixed feeds?
That could be a topic.
That's a great
a feeding session. I think, because I know a lot about the Purina, just because we live a mile from a Purina dealer, so that's what I fed all my life. I've got that figured out.
I've typically in the past fed lenders. This year we're kind of changing it up. We've got some Mormon Showtech feed in here, and then after we get done with that, we're probably going to go to some Sungalow products. Mainly just because Jesse's a dealer of those types of things, and so he's very familiar with them, and he may be a little bit better of a feeder than I am. I'm not going to give him all the props, but yeah,
that would be a good topic too, something for as far as feeding. And we do plan on going at some point when we become unbusy on open house day. We plan on going live from there, trying to give you guys tips about what you need to do once you get your show pig home. Once you've been out to the farm or out to an open house or a sale and you get it home, we plan on doing something from there too.
So maybe next week we'll kind of highlight on the complete feed versus the ground feed story, and then we'll also talk a little bit about selection process and some of the things that we should be considering when we're going out and looking at these hogs, and what's best fit for you. Sometimes people, what their style is, or what's your ultimate goal. Where's your end date? Because I think it's easier if you start at the end date and work your way backwards into a hog. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
We might be here for a while next week. We got a lot to cover.
We could. Anything else come up on there? Yes. My mom's at a funny comment.
Oh, she had 3 crying, laughing faces. That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
Cracking me up back here.
Yeah.
One more idea. Medication schedule.
Oh, yeah, vaccination
cover that
schedules.
too, huh?
When do you vaccinate yours?
It just kind of depends. I mean, there's all sorts. That'd be a big topic. We'll have plenty of stuff for you all to talk about next week. We can probably do vaccinations and feeds and
because that might be a good time too to also cover the VFDs, the veterinary feed derivatives that have come out, and what we need to be looking for as producers, and what we should be expecting from our veterinarians, and maybe some of the questions we need to be asking our vets. I do want to educate myself a little bit more before we go live on that, because I maybe need to ask some of those questions myself. So we'll definitely throw that in there. We're just going to plan maybe a long session next week, and we'll have lots to talk about. That new VFD thing's a pretty big deal, and we got to be very cautious about it. And of course, you're going to run into the situation if you don't have your paperwork lined out, you're not going to get your feed bought because they're not going to sell it to you. So, yeah.
So those are all really good suggestions. Now we've got more ideas to think of, stuff that we can go live and help you guys learn more information about, or at least from our experiences. I guess if really there's nothing else, there's a pot of chicken and dumplings calling our names. So
Logan brought dinner tonight, and I went in to stir it a second ago, and oh my gosh, it was kind of hard to come back out here because I just wanted to eat real quick, but I didn't think that was very fair to leave these guys out here. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Don't forget March 4th, March 25th here at the farm, March 18th, Cuba, Missouri, with Logan and the Coles. So pretty excited. Hope to see you guys soon.
see ya.